Fiji for the last, how long? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? It felt like you were gone forever.
2.5.
2.5 weeks enjoying paradise.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be nice to not have to, clock into a job every day and clock out of a job every day and be able to just take that time off and go for a holiday? And more positive news is Tracy, I know her and her buns of steel husband, as she calls him, had their interviews today. There he is. Look at that. 2 New Zealand ISABody finalists that will be over in June in Sydney to get up on stage to compete with everybody else in the finalists to see who takes out the 2020 ISABody winner. So they've just had their interviews today. I know they've had their final interviews today for that process. Incredible process that is, and something that they should be so proud of, because it's not just show up every day for themselves, but it's also for the community, their family, their friends, their team. It's a big thing, and it's something they should be really proud of. Really, really proud of. Gemma, are you okay, where are you? You're not in New Zealand at the moment. Where,
I'm in Holland.
There you go. Tuning in from Holland.
Yeah. I'm sitting upstairs in my mum's house.
Yeah. So what time is it in Holland at the moment?
10 o'clock in the morning. Perfect.
10 o'clock in the morning. How nice is that? Time differences. But it also shows, putting in that effort into the business. Not only does she show up here every week when she's at home at 8 o'clock in New Zealand, but she's taken off to Holland to the other side of the world and still tunes in. So again, some incredible positive news there. I think, Bronwyn, have you been back on the track again? Who's been back on the track? Or is it Nat? Who's out on the bike? I keep seeing someone out on the bike. Yes, it is you, Nat. Back out there. Isn't it getting cold? Yes.
Yeah, but, we rug up. And when you got the train, you got the train.
Exactly. So, everybody gets in there and get things done. So it's awesome to see. Well, the biggest news that's come out today is, drum roll, we've been able to bring forward the winner's announcement by a week. So on Wednesday, we will have at 7 p.m. in Sydney, 9 o'clock for New Zealand. Can't tell you what it is for you, Gemma, over over there. I haven't worked out that time zone yet, but 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. It's a Zoom call. It's a dedicated Zoom call. So make sure you take down the Zoom number. It won't be shown live in any of the chats. It will be a Zoom call in. So you got to log in with the rest of Australia and New Zealand for 50 top winners. 50 people have won this trip. As long as compliance checks comes through, they're finishing it all off today. We've been at them. You should see us. Our sales team have been at them, compliance team, to make sure that every I is dotted and every T is crossed, to make sure that we are available to be able to tell you all on Wednesday who are the names of 50 people that we are flying to Orlando, that are going to a 3-day global ISAGENIX event with an incredible gala evening, complete live music, the whole kit and caboodle, as well as a day trip to Disney World, all paid for, completely paid for. It's huge, and it's something that we have been running for 2 years to get back up and, on the cards, and we'll be able to tell you the 50 names that are going. It's incredible. It's an incredible event. So that's our big news for today. There's also lots happening. And I'm going to, as you know, we've talked about seasonal shakes coming through all the time. There's a seasonal shake in the works, but I can't tell you what it is yet. But it's coming for the next season. But it's something it's like everybody goes, which one's coming back? But I need some help, because America is actually launching their seasonal shake in the next couple of weeks. Now, they've never had this shake before, but you have. So they want to know what it's like. So we need some more testimonials from people that have tried it. Who's tried Hokey Pokey? Yeah, who loves it? Yes. Well, they're getting it back. So they're having it for the first time ever. And would you believe they have no idea what Hokey Pokey is? It's like telling Americans.
That is my all-time favorite.
Well, they want to know what it tastes like. They want to know why it's such a big deal, because hokey pokey, they don't even know what that flavor is. They don't have it in ice cream. They don't have it in, they don't know what that actually relates to. To them, they could think that it tastes like peanut butter. They don't know. So we're asking for, if anyone loves that product, to send me just via messenger a 5-10 second clip, up to 30 seconds max, in portrait style, off your phone, and tell me what you love about that. Because what I'm going to do then, I'm going to send it to the sales team over in America, and they're going to put together a compilation of everybody talking about it and what it tastes like, why they love it, what consistency it is, all of that different information. So they're going to hear Australia, New Zealand voices, all these different, but don't tell me you've got some there, Gabby. Did you just walk over with a tub?
I'm pretty sure it's expired, but it still tastes good. So I still have it.
Well, exactly that. And then they're going to put together this compilation, and it's going to go on to the ISAGENIX Business USA site. So they can then get an understanding of why we love it so much. So please send me the little clips. Make sure you send it. I need it in the next couple of days. And that comes from everyone, including you, Nancy, because I know you've had it as well before. So I need your face on there too. All right. So really, that's all I've got for this week, because this week is really, really, really all about Global Celebration announcement on Wednesday. We all know Master the Mindset in June is coming up in Sydney. If you haven't booked your flights yet, book them. Get in there quick as you can. Anybody who hasn't got a ticket that would like one, put your name forward, because there's always people that getting really close to the end or to the date. If they can't make it, we don't want that spot to be lost. So there's always somebody around that might be able to pick up a spot. Other than that, that's it for me tonight. And I'm going to now hand it over to you, Brittany.
Thanks, Jen. I feel like we started this call really positive, and we've got so many faces on the call tonight, which is really nice. Really exciting. Maybe it's because we're all getting geared back up. You may have seen while Jen was talking, I was looking away. I was just trying to sort a little calendars for tonight's little geeky education session with Britt.
When you turn to the side for some reason.
Oh, my phone's not working.
As long as you look straight at us, we can hear you fine.
It's like when you keep your eyes on us.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Oh, now I can't hear you guys. Well, this is
we
not
can
good.
hear you.
Oh dear. Here. You got me?
Yep.
Can you still hear me when I do this?
Oh, we can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, now it's in my headphones. It was on my laptop. All good. Okay. All right. So who knows what we're here to talk about tonight? Drop it in the chat. Checking you're still awake. Events. Gemma, first off the mark. Awesome. All right. So events. So if you've run an event before, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. I don't care if one person came to your house and you ran an event. I'm just talking about you made a decision to talk about ISAGENIX in a place, a home, an event space on a certain day. Awesome. If you have never run an event, I want you to put an N in the chat just so I can get a real feel for who has and who hasn't run events. Everyone's run an event? All right. Okay, cool. Interesting. Fascinating. Awesome. Okay. Now, 2 seconds. I'm just dropping this calendar in. Okay. Let's go.
I've probably run more events than I've had hot dinners, to be honest. But yeah.
Is that because you drink shakes for dinner, Gab?
What's that?
Is that because you drink shakes for dinner?
100%. I ain't got time for dishes. No way.
Oh, awesome. I'm just checking you can see what's on my screen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thumbs up. Cool. Okay. Fantastic. So for those of you who don't know, it's not something I talk about a lot, but my background before ISAGENIX was Tupperware. I was one of the youngest Tupperware managers in New Zealand at 21 years old. And it was a lot of fun, and it set me up for my ISAGENIX. But one thing I think in ISAGENIX that we probably don't do as well as we need to move into doing is in-home demonstrations and getting people around our products. And I want you to know that getting 2 people around a dining room table, around a kitchen table, around a glass of wine, or around a cocktail, whatever, is worth it with these products. Because if you sell these products to 2 people, you can not only impact those 2 people's lives, they may also want to join you in the business. When I worked in that Tupperware space, I had to get hundreds of people to look at plastic over and over again because they couldn't eat it and consume it. They would buy it, and who's got Tupperware in the cupboard? Like, it just lasts forever. It's not a consumable product. It makes it a bit of a tricky business model, really. But so when I was putting this together, I thought, okay, how can I bring back in some of that knowledge that I used back then to support you in moving forward and how you're going to host these demonstrations and presentations and whatever you want to call it, events. Firstly, I want you to think about it always has to be fun, always. And the second thing I really want you to take away from tonight is that you need to put in 10 times the effort that you currently expect to get funds on seats. If you haven't read the book 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, I highly recommend you note that down. It is that most of us underestimate the amount of effort it takes to get people anywhere. All right. So we're going to fire through this, and then I promise you we'll let Gabby Hype Girl back on the mic, okay? All right. So if you can, please be with me, please focus. I'm going to go quick. If you want to take photos of stuff, take photos of stuff. If you want to message me for any slides that you want later, you can do that. They're just all in my Canva. Okay. Multi-choice questions, how we always start. Good little laugh. In the chat, when you're thinking about hosting an event, how do you feel? 1, scared, what if no one shows up? 2, uncertain or uncomfortable, what do I say? What do I do? How do I make it work? Or 3, great, comfortable, I've done events before. And now I need to find the chat. Gabby, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've got some mixed results here. 1, 2, 1. Okay, awesome. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's multi-choice means pick one that you most align with. Next time I'll explain that a bit more explicitly. All right, okay, now that gives me a good feel for where you're at. Okay, so let's deal with the ones. Okay, scared that no one's going to show up. Scared that no one's going to show up. Okay. Oh my goodness. If we went through life constantly afraid that nobody's going to show up anywhere, we'd never get anything done. Anytime you plan an event, invite to an event, organize an event, what are you doing? You are learning the steps. And one thing I talk about in another space that I teach in the gratitude space is that we have to think about this like a gym workout. If you haven't done events before, you're not going to rock into your events gym and pick up these like 50 kg weights and be like, I'm going to get 50 people in the room. You might get one person in the room, and that is one more than you would have had if you did not try to do the event. So I want to take away from the need to having like 10 people show up for that to be a successful event. If you have one person in the room that you can present to, or you get a couple of people who are already using the products, whether they're in your downline, sideline, upline, I don't care, you get a chance to practice presenting. You will get better at inviting the more you do it. If you stop the first time you do it, you will never get anywhere. Fair? I see some nodding. Awesome. Okay, so if you're scared, what if no one shows up? I want to ask you, if you put in the right amount of effort to inviting these people, to reminding these people, to making the guest list big enough, and maybe doing it with somebody else in your area, why would no one show up? I think what people are truly scared of is that they won't put enough effort in for people to show up. Someone give me a wave if they think that might be a fair comment.
Can I add something there?
Absolutely.
I still have events where no one shows up. and like rather than being like, or like say one person comes. And I find the fatal mistake when one person shows up, or one or two, or whatever, they're like, oh, you don't run here. Oh, yeah, someone said they were coming, and they make, oh, just have a bite of the bar, you know, and they make it kind of emo. Whereas if you go, oh my God, this is so freaking awesome that you're the only one here. I can literally tailor this to you. Like, this is insane. This is so good, like amazing. And say like no one shows up. It's like, oh my gosh, brilliant. How often do you have 2 hours with nothing else on that you can use to invite to your next event? Brilliant. You know, like there's no downside, right? So people, you're like, I would say you're probably gonna have events where no one shows up. If you're doing this business right and you're going hard out, you should have events where no one shows up, because you're having that many that there's bound to be some where no one turns up. Perfect. That means you're nailing it. You know, like I still to this day have events where no one shows up, and I still to this day have that fear. What if no one shows up? And it's like, no, if no one shows up, perfect. I've got my free calendar, and you know what? They'll say, oh shit, I can't make it, but when's the next one? And I'll lock them in for the next one. So
Yeah, I love that.
turn that fear around and
I love it, and I love you, but I hope that after you leave tonight's presentation, you never have an event where people don't show up to again.
okay, I'm listening.
Because this is my strong point, and I don't want you guys hosting events where no one shows up, but I do want you to take everything Gabby just said, and if no one shows up, I want you to own it. And I want you to turn your Facebook Live on and throw that event to the world, because there's always someone watching. Okay. All right. So I'm going to deal with the twos. Uncertain, uncomfortable. What do I say? What do I do? How do I make it work? You can never, ever, ever run a perfect event. Okay. Can you all write in the chat now, I will never run a perfect event. Like, just declare it. I will never run a perfect event. There's no such thing. There are the people who turn up who ask you the sideball questions about the sugar in the products. There are the people who don't show up. There are the people who are like, I'm here, but I'm not listening. I'm on my phone. Like, it's never going to be perfect, okay? But what you can do is you can show up in your best form and deliver what you know about these products to be true. And I'm going to share with you tonight what to share at that event that has worked for me. As always, you need to find your own flow in this business. You need to find what's going to work for you. But that's what I'm going to share tonight. Okay. And the threes. There wasn't many of those. Can you just give me a wave if you put 3 in the chat? Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Those who have put 3 in the chat, I bet you got there by doing events. Would that be fair? Yep. Cool. If you put a 3 in the chat, can you just drop a number of events that you've hosted into, and I'm not just talking ISAGENIX events. So please consider, like, if you've run baby showers, if you've run birthdays, if you've run family get, they are all events, okay? So your events experience is not limited to ISAGENIX. What we need to do is take into consideration all of the events that you've done in your life and now apply those things. How would you get everyone to family Christmas? I guarantee you don't just put something in your Facebook story and hope they turn up. It's not how it works. You get on the phone, you call them, you want Auntie Margaret there, right? I don't even know if it's made up a name. Okay, all right. I get a bit like hot and heated about this stuff. Sorry, I get a bit passionate when I'm like in teacher mode. Sorry. Oh, I shouldn't be sorry. You're here, so you're listening. All right. So for me, I'm a massive planner. Planning is important. And if you want to get events to rock, you need to operate with a plan. Okay. And so for me, a lot of my career background comes from planning and strategy. And it doesn't have to be difficult. If you like the look of these questions and you think that they could help you plan an event, feel free to take a photo of them. If you want me to drop them in the chat, I can do that too. But you need to ask yourself the question why every time first. Why am I doing this event? If you open up your home or a friend's home, or you go hire a hall, whatever you're going to do, and you have no idea what you want to get out of it, you are already on the wrong step. Why am I hosting this event? Because I need people to know that I am doing ISAGENIX, or because I would really like one new enrollment, or because I've got a team that need me to get in front of their people. Find out why you're doing it. Get really, really, really clear on your why, because then you can't let go of that event. The same as what David T.S. Woods would talk to us about at our mindset events. Get clear on why you're doing something, and your passion for it will deliver better. Make sense? Right. Okay, when is the event? That's pretty flippin' obvious. Now, in my previous network marketing career, we got taught, don't put the event in a month's time. Like, it's not going to work. People don't know what they're doing in a month's time. Like, you'll notice that with Gabby's events, and she's got one Wednesday night, which we'll talk about after this. You'll notice Gabby's like, okay, next week, done, next week, let's go. People know what they're doing next week. People know what they're doing on Thursday night. If you've got collagen in your fridge and you've got a few girlfriends who might want to come around for a wine and a collagen, you could have an event with 4 people. That counts as an event, okay? None of us like have to have 50 people in a hotel conference room, right? Okay, when is the event? While we're going through these questions, if you're like, yes, I'm going to do an event, like, start answering them. Write them down on a piece of paper, write them down on your phone. Like, when is an event? Like, okay, I'm going to do one next Friday or whatever. I would suggest anywhere from, like, in the next 7 to 10 days, that's kind of where I would suggest for an event. So you start inviting between 7 and 10 days, not more. So not like I'm going to do one in 3 months' time and invite people. People forget, people are busy, people don't remember. Where will it be hosted? Think about that. What time will it be to suit participants? I thought that was a typo there, kind of a bit wordy. Think about your target market. Think about who's coming, what time are they available. Like, if you are a school mum and all the mums go for a coffee at 9 o'clock, I don't even know if this is a thing, like, make it round the coffee group at the flipping cafe. Do an ISAGENIX thing. Like, just say, hey girls, can I tell you about my products next time we go for coffee? Or if you know that they want to get out of the house at nighttime, do that. Or if you've got after school sports thing going on, like, find a time that you can capture 3 to 4 people. You might actually end up with 10. But if you can just get a first couple, you can grow those events to being bigger. Does that make sense? Like, grow your strengths and events. All right, what is the topic? Now, this wasn't an issue when I started ISAGENIX because we just sold shake packs. Like, it felt like that was all we had to sell. Now we are just like, you've got collagen, which is, like, I think one of the easiest product lines to talk about and sell. You've got the stress adaptogen shots, which are just flying off the shelf. You've got face care, and you've got our staple system, right? And when I say staple system, I mean like our shakes, our premium packs, our 30-day weight loss packs. Pick what you're going to talk about and just talk about that. And when I say talk about that, I don't mean just talk about the shake, I mean talk about the system. So talk about the collagen system as a 30-day system, or talk about the stress system, or talk about those together if you want to up your basket sale. You could do one on performance, like Gabs owns a gym, so it would make sense that she did one on performance product range. What is your market going to be most open to listening to, and what do they most need? So I love the comment that we're in the best position to serve the person we once were. So if you once really needed the energy from those shakes, you find a way to talk to people about our shakes when it comes to energy. If you're one of those people that's dropped 25 kgs and everyone around you's watched you do it on those shakes and they want to know how you did it, go with that. If your skin is looking amazing and people keep commenting on it because you're using our collagen, go with that. So pick your product range. Don't overcomplicate it. Do not try and sell the whole catalog. So
can I ask a question?
Of course.
Without having to know what your target market is at the event, would an idea be is to ask the guests what they're there for? Like, who
should
here
already
is
know.
here? Why?
So this is just my opinion, Anna, and how I ran.
Yep. That's why I'm asking.
Demonstrations. Yeah. So when I did my Tupperware demonstrations, they were coming to a fridge demo, or they were coming to a pantry demo, or they were coming to a Clearmate meat demo, or they were coming to a jelly ring demo. So they were hyped up and excited to learn about that. And so this is, I think, relatively new for ISAGENIX because we used to always just talk about a system. It doesn't mean you don't talk about the other products. but it means that the focus is on a product range. So when you're inviting, you can say, hey, I really want to like invite you along because we're going to cover things like energy. I don't know if you want to use the word weight loss. I avoid that completely in my marketing, but that's from my own journey.
Yeah.
So you focus on one thing, and what we call that in the marketing space is a single-minded proposition. When you have a single-minded proposition, your customers can't get wrapped up in there being too many things. So you have a very direct path for the consumer to go, okay, I'm going to this thing about energy. And if I want energy, then I know that I can buy this thing and it's got a 30-day money back guarantee and I can get my energy back. Make sense? Great question though. It doesn't mean that when someone says to you, Anna, hey, you know that collagen stuff, can you tell me about that too? Of course you can. But you just like, hey, look, we're just going to wait till I've finished the end of my little spiel and then I'll totally tell you about that because I love it. Yeah, makes sense. So keep the main thing, and Michael Clark will say that all the time. Like, try and have a focus.
I'll just add one point there. So like when we were at like by the way, Sarah had the most epic event last Wednesday. It was crazy. It was incredible. And something I actually, when I was like, oh, what have you guys using ISAGENIX, or what brought you along today? And I kind of like sift around the room asking people that. So I do exactly that, Anna, because I was presenting for Sarah's friends. So I don't know. So I went around and asked them. And two of the people said, oh, we're just here to support Sarah. Okay. And I was like, amazing. That's so freaking cool. Amazing. Welcome. That's so just amazing that you're here to support her. Incredible. And by the end of the event, those two were the most interested, you know? You remember Sarah? It was pretty cool. So yeah, so I actually do, because I was presenting her event, you know, so I didn't know why they were there. So I would ask if I ever didn't know. So yeah, if you don't know, you can just ask. I'm like, oh, what brought you guys along? Because I didn't know any of them. So, oh, what brought you guys along today using ISAGENIX? Come to find out about it, the business. And I ask because I didn't invite these people. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense though, like surveying the people in the room and building the rapport too, Gabby, right? Because you're the speaker, so you got to build the rapport with whoever's in that space. Awesome. Okay, so what's the topic? Covered that. How will you invite people personally? This is really, really, really freaking important, and I think we've lost the art of it, but that's okay. We're going to talk about that. And when will you start inviting? So that goes back to when I talked about that sort of 7 to 10 day bliss window, because people know what they're doing in 7 to 10 days. If I asked you all to tell me what you're doing in 2 weeks from now, you might not know. Okay. All right. So I use a really, really, really simple thing, pen and paper. Write down 1 to 20 or 1 to 30 or 1 to 40. You need to write down 4 times the amount of names than you want in the room, okay? Because people are busy, people aren't going to respond, people have things on. The more people you invite, the more chances you're going to have a full room of people. If you don't know people, ask people to come with a friend. If you bring a friend, I'm going to give you a little something for bringing a friend. I don't know what it is. It might be like a Whittaker's little fun-sized chocolate bar. Like, do something cool to get people to bring friends, because when people bring friends, they're more comfortable at an event. When people bring friends, they're more likely to join together and do it together. And then you end up with 2 enrollments or an enrollment plus 1, and then you can make them an enrollment plus 2. Okay. Track your guest list. Gabby, this is probably not something you'd love to do, but this will really help with getting people in a space. Track your guest list. So this is something that I'm super passionate about, but I run like very, very, very expensive coaching program prospecting as part of what I do as a job. So I have to track who's been spoken to, how do they do it, what have we said to them, what does our CRM look like? So who have you invited? The other thing was, why did you invite them? Because if you know why you've invited them, when Gabby gets there as the main speaker, you can say, hey, Gabs, I invited this person because they're into income. I invited this person. Can you have a little look around the room and Okay. What was their response? No, I'm too busy, but I'd love to come to the next one. Write that down, or you're going to forget it, and you're not going to invite them to the next one because you would have forgotten. Or yes, I'd love to. I've just got kids sport on that night. Like, can I get there a bit late? Like, make sure you've collected their response and understand a lot of people say no, and it's not a no, it's something else is going on for them. They're busy or whatever's happening. What details have you sent them? So if they've responded that they're coming, yes. Have you sent them the address? Have you sent them the time? The amount of people who are like, I was going to go, but nobody told me where to go and what time to be there. No, okay, that's not good. So I used to train all my hosting Tupperware parties on all of the stuff. I had to train each single host to get people there and call them 4 times a week. Oh, it's exhausting. Make sure you've got a reminder set for the day before. So whether that's a text or a phone call or a voice memo, this takes energy and effort, but the more people you get in the room, the more people you're going to get into your business. Okay. And then the day of, check in. Hey, I'm just checking you're still coming. We know there's COVID going around. We know people are sick, but if you check in on the day, I honestly, if somebody checked in with me on the day and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to go. And then they're like, hey, Brett, looking forward to seeing you tonight. I'd be like, oh, I better go. Okay, so you can sway someone just by saying, hey, I'm so looking forward to seeing you tonight. Like, I've got your name on the guest list. I'll have your cup of tea ready or your wine ready when you get here. And just that can really go to someone, I'm wanted there. I'm not just a number. So it's about how do you make each and every guest feel really special. So if you want those as an idea or change this tracker up to be your own, draw it up on a piece of paper. You don't need to print this. Make those headings mean something to you. But what I'm suggesting is make sure you have their name. If you've invited them, because sometimes we think we've invited people and we haven't, what their response was, what details you've sent them, day before reminder, and the day check-in. Okay. I'm very aware that I'm running out of time and I've spoken a lot tonight. I really want to hit this home. Invite versus intrigue are so different. And when I say invite, I mean, hey, Nat, I'd really love you to come to this thing I'm doing. Can I tell you about it? It's not, oh, Nat saw in my Facebook story that I was hosting an event, so she must know it's happening. Okay, Nat might have put a little love heart on it, or she might have gone, what's that? That's intrigue. That's not an invite. If you want someone to feel welcome and you want someone to feel invited, you need to invite them. You need to do just that. Your invite options, if you are inviting. Intrigue is another whole thing. You can do intrigue too, but let's just stick with inviting. I've got some slides on intrigue. Call them. If you call 5 girlfriends and invite them to your event, how much more likely is it that they're going to come? You've had a conversation with them, you know why they can or can't come, you know they're going to bring Molly and Sarah with them, like whatever. You've got them on the phone, and those 5 phone calls might take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes each, and you're building that authentic relationship with people you already know. If you don't have time to call, or the people who they're not, you don't know, that you're in calling connection with, I don't know, voice memo, that's your next richest medium in communication. And failing that, I really don't want you to go there, but message is your next one. And it's not, here's a picture of the event invite, come. It's, hey, I noticed that you're kind of into health and well-being. I've got this collagen product that I'm really interested in. We're having this little event. I don't know, would you be interested? It's really kind and really soft, and yeah. Oh, there you go. There's the create authentic intrigue. Hey, Nat, I'm hosting or co-hosting or going to an event about collagen or an event about energy. And I wondered if it's something you might be interested in coming to with me. With me. Not I'm going to talk at you. Come with me to this event. Languaging is quite important, but find what works for you. So it's just what's worked for me. And then I've got some responses there. Yes, awesome. Are you free next year? I never tell them the date when I'm asking them if they want to come with me. If they're interested, they'll ask, oh, when is it? If they're not interested, they go, oh, no, thank you. And you don't need to tell them the date. And then if it's not for them, they might know somebody who it is for. All right, social intrigue. Here's a couple of things to just keep in mind. Invite options. You could post your own story with a why. Why do you love the product? Or why are you doing this? Or why are you doing the business? Or why are you inviting people into your home? Think about the interaction. Try and always ask for interaction on your Facebook post. So like if you were to rate your energy 1 out of 10, what would it rate today? I always do like those sorts of things on your post to say, if you get an interaction, someone says 1, private message them. Oh my God, girl, I've got some stuff I want to show you. Do you want to come around for a cuppa? Like, just, this doesn't have to be awkward. Story, so doing a story and a poll and asking a question. I'm not going to talk through this. So if you like the idea of doing polls to try and create some ideas of who might want to come to events, feel free to take a picture. But it's literally, don't use the product images in your polls. Please don't use the product images. Just put like the beach in the background of it and ask the question. Like put something bright and ask the question. Like if you could have one wish granted for your well-being, what would it be? Or you can do the this or that. Or if you could have one wish granted for your skin, what would it be? Just some ideas. And to anyone who interacts with that, start a conversation. But these are intrigue. I would almost say don't touch the intrigue until you're done with the invites. And if you've run out of warm market, that's when you go to intrigue. Does that make sense? Have I confused anyone? We're not asleep yet. Nancy's like, I'm doing my workout, I'm listening in. I love it. Awesome. Okay. So the thing I wrote in the what we're going to talk about tonight is like getting people there and what it really takes. You have to multiply the amount of people you want in the room by 4. If you want 5 people at your house to talk to them about ISAGENIX, you've got to invite 20 people. If you get 20 people in your house, you have the best hit record of inviting to events ever, and I need you to teach me how to do it, okay? If you get 5, you're doing well. 4 times, okay? 4 times the amount of people on that list as you think you want to achieve. If you live in an area with someone else, partner up and do this. Us Hamilton girls, I'm not in Hamilton anymore, but we used to do these at our upline's house. And so if we all had 2 people there, the room felt full, right? But if you want 5 people there, 10 people there, you've got to get them there yourself. You need to work a little bit harder. Good harder, because the work you do then is going to pay you forever if they end up becoming customers for life, right? Okay. This, I'm running out of time, but presenting, it's all about using the tools. So whenever I've held an ISAGENIX demonstration, it started with an ISAGENIX video in front of a TV, and usually it's the ISAGENIX explained with the 2 chiropractors because they can tell it better than I ever could. I will waffle and they tell it in 3 minutes. Use the tools, don't be a tool. If you use the tools, the person who you invite, who then wants to start the business, knows exactly what to do. They go, hey, where do I find that video? I want to have some friends around and tell them about this stuff, right? Easy. They don't go, hey, Britt, can you come and do this for me? Because we're trying to create duplication and we're trying to create depth in your business. Share your why. Share why you love the products. Share why you joined the business. Share who invited you. Share the 30-day money-back guarantee. If possible, have someone else there who can share their story too. Then, like, I know that there's events happening all over New Zealand and people are saying, hey, come to my event and this is awesome. We're getting some like cross team work happening, which is what ISAGENIX is all about. It's about having a couple of people say their why story if you can get that, or sharing some before and afters, or sharing a video that explains other people's why. Share what you love. Tell them how to buy it through you. Even though they're in your home, even though you're talking to them about it, they may not understand that you can sell it to them. Do not underestimate people's assumptions. I have started this as a side hustle. That's why I've got you in my home. If you would like to purchase this, you can do so through me. This is how it works. You let me know what you like. I set you up a pack link and I send it to you. And if you ever have any friends who want to do that too, you just send them a pack link. It's really cool. So make it really easy for them. Cool? Okay, just all give me a wave so I haven't lost you. Cool, okay, awesome. Okay, and then have your questions and connection and talk about your other products and things will flow really naturally. But that is how I would run an event. And there'll be lots of other ways. Gabby will run hers differently. You guys will run yours differently. You need to find what works for you. This is what I found duplicates. This is what I found works from a point of having a video, having a couple of stories, talking about the products, being clear about how they buy them. And while you're talking about how they buy them, you've said, I'm doing this as a side hustle. You can too. Or I'm doing this as a business. You can too. All right. I have one last question for you all. Shall we plan an online event together to practice this? Nah, nobody wants to? All good. Don't worry about it. Give me a wave if you want us to do an online event together so that we can practice our skills in inviting. Awesome. Awesome. I know you're keen, Gabby, because I covered it off. So what I'm suggesting is you take away from tonight and you think about your in-person event. And Gabby's going to talk to you about that very soon, about her in-person event that's happening on Wednesday. I want you to think about doing in-person events, but I also want you to learn the skills of inviting and following up. So we're going to put this into practice. So next Monday when we come on this call, we are going to spend the call in action, inviting to a collagen call within 7 days of that call. Okay, so the idea is if we all got 2 or 3 people on that call and you've practiced inviting and you've practiced following up, and there'll be some tools you can use, you're going to feel better about then going and running those offline events. Can you give me a high five if that sounds like a good idea? Awesome. I just thought that might be a really good way to practice the inviting and practice the following up and practice being in this process and then taking it offline. So I will run the collagen event. I'll be seeking a few of you to share testimonial on that event because we're going to use the framework. And from next week, so turn up on Monday night's call next week and we will do some practical inviting stuff. Sound good? Okay, if you miss that call, you'll be struggling to invite people to the call the following week. All right, be there. Make sure your alarm's on. Okay, Gabby, I'm sorry. I took so much time tonight. I just got really, really passionate. Go, Gabby.
Woo! I'm just, as you talk, I do stuff because, as you guys know, I'm a now person. What do you want to do now? So I'm just quickly like inviting, planning the next event. Okay, cool. So only a few things I wanted to add. Number one, you've got to collaborate. Okay, you have to collaborate with the people in your area. All right. So if you are having events, you need to get any of you guys on this call. And by the way, if any of you on this call are like, oh, no one's in my area, put in the chat right now, hey, is anyone near Rotorua? Is anyone near Invercargill? Whatever, okay? Because that is how you are going to have successful events, when you work together. Britt, we're still looking at your screen, by the way. So like you Christchurch girls, right? Get together. So I know Anna has her events and Rana has hers, but I reckon you should be doing them together. I honestly think that would be so much more powerful. So like at Sarah's event in Hamilton, right? We had me there, we had Sarah there, we had Miriam, we had Taylor, we had Amanda, we had Rebecca, right? So there's 6 of us. Okay, so Taylor and Miriam were online at the Zoom because Taylor had COVID, but there were 6 of us there backing each other up, right? Because we're working together, okay? That is the key, 100%. So when you're inviting to an event, you're like, oh, what if no one comes? Well, you at least know one other person's going to come because that's the person that you are collaborating with, right? And you back each other up. So it's super, super, super important that you get proactive and get out and find the people that are around you. Like when I first moved back from Australia, I was living on a farm, like on the West Coast, right? There ain't no one else around there doing ISAGENIX. But there were some people in Auckland. There were some people in Christchurch. So I would go and support their events. And in return, they supported mine. So if you want people to support your events, guess what you're going to have to do? You need to support theirs. That's the key, right? It's like if you want people to comment on your posts, you need to comment on their posts and they will reciprocate that. So that was a a big learning for me. I used to travel to Auckland we had a Wellness Wednesday, right? And I used to travel 2.5 hours each way, 5 hours round trip to support that event. So when I've been going there for 5 months straight and I decide to have an event in the middle of nowhere, they all came and supported me. Yeah, so no guests came up, but it was a fun night. We turned it into a business training, right? And I realized that no one's going to drive 3 hours to the farm. Anyway, but that's we helped each other. So you've got to support other people's events, and then they will support you. You can't just be like, come to mine, and not go to theirs. It's got to go both ways. So really link up, find like everyone on this call. There's probably people on this call that live an hour or so away from each other. You could totally support each other's events for sure. It's worth putting in the effort. Success isn't comfortable, right? Yeah, it's cold. It's pissing down with rain. So on Wednesday night, Sarah's event, right? Was 7 o'clock in Hamilton. So that's a 2-hour drive from me. And it was, so 7, got out of that 9 o'clock. So I didn't get home till 11 o'clock to Tyro, right? I'm 6 months pregnant. I got a grumpy ass freaking toddler. And I got to get up at 6 a.m. and take a fitness class the next morning. But do I do it? 100%. Do I need to? 100%. Because I know what I want out of this business. And the universe is watching. And I'm saying, I'm serious. I'm going all in. I'm not just, oh, nah, it's cold. Oh, Keanu's had a rough night. I'm not going to make it. Hell no. I will never, ever, 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 ever bail on your event. Ever. Because I know that in the long run, this is what allows me to be a stay-at-home mom. It was my stepboy's first rugby game. And I'm like trying to put in a real effort. Like my goal is to be like a better stepmom, because I'm like, oh, Keanu. And then the 2 stepboys are like, what about us? So I want to be, my focus is really having one-on-one time and supporting my bonus boys, right? More. And so, oh, Gabby, are you going to be at my first rugby game? I'm not, baby. But guess what? What I'm doing allows me to be home with you. You know how at school holidays, I go to the beach, I take you to the river, we run around, we do family wrestles while dad's at work. This is what allows me to do that. This is what allows me to be home all the time. And so I got to hustle every now and then. I got to do this. I'm going to miss your game, but trust me, it's going to be worth it in the long run. Trust me, I'm taking you to Disney World later this year, baby. Woo! I'm going to win this trip, So that's the mentality that I believe is necessary for success. You got to support others' events. You got to. And everything, oh, it's half an hour drive, it's raining. Frickin' make it happen. Make it happen. That's my mindset, okay? And if you look at like if I'm ever like, feeling a bit emo and thinking about bailing, I have this video that I watch, right? It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, The 6 Rules of Success. Any of you guys that have been to my events back in the day, I used to play it like every event. Like I love it every time I speak. Because it reminds me, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets. It ain't going to work, right? You got to get dirty. You got to get uncomfortable. And that's what events are, right? Is it comfortable to invite people into your house and talk about something that you're passionate about? No, as if. It's not even comfortable to post about on social media. There's haters everywhere, right? But that's the only way to get growth, and like Arnie, like he says, don't listen to the haters, don't listen to the doubters. He says, I love it when someone says, you can't do this, it's never been done. Because I know when I do it, I'm going to be the first one to do it. Like his words is just like, fuck yeah, Arnie. Like he's just the man. And he says, when I was growing up, people say like bodybuilding, you're like a freak, like it wasn't cool. People tell me you never be bodybuilder. I become, most recognized bodybuilder of all time. Then they said, you can never be an actor. You've got an accent. I become most awarded actor, one of the most awarded actors in Hollywood. Then they say, you can never be in politics. You're not even an American citizen. I become California, I become governor of California, you know, like he's just the fucking man. He just like goes against everything that people tell him he can't do. And that's kind of like this, you know, like there's so many doubters out there and people that'll try and stop you. And that's your test. Okay. So when these roadblocks come along, oh, I'm tired. The baby's been awake all night. My nipples are raw from breastfeeding. I'm pregnant. I feel like crap. I got to be up at 6 a.m. I got every reason to bail, but there ain't no way I'm bailing, right? I'm going and I'm going to rock it. That's the key, right? You've got to have that tenacity, that mentality. I honestly believe. And you've got to link arms with the people around you. Well, they don't even have to be around you. Within a 3-hour radius, I believe, is around you, right? So if you can get and support everyone else's events, that's where you'll get the growth. And you go to the event and say, hey, I'll come, I'll share my story. I'll try being a friend. Guess what? If you bring a friend and you've got an hour road trip to get there, that's a hell of a lot of connecting, prospecting time. You got them in the car and they can't go anywhere, right? It's kind of perfect. So you can talk to them and get to know them, build the relationship on the way, right? You can't get better than that. And they get to an event and hear all about how amazing ISAGENIX is. What do you think they want to talk about on the way home, right? So yeah, that's the main thing I want to share, is because I don't believe we are supporting each other's events right now. We're not. It's pretty shitty. We should be, right? I can get better for sure. If there's an event anywhere, Auckland, Rotorua, if there's an event in Intrigue, I will do my damn best to get there, right? Because I want ISAGENIX New Zealand to freaking pump, and it will. You wait till after this June event. It'll be the quick and the dead. And if you're not going, you need to take a serious look and ask yourself why. Why you, like I said last week, I have not seen anyone have massive success that hasn't been to this event. Gemma, you could find an event in Holland, you know, like there's events over there now. Go to them for sure. And you know what? Europe, like Bronwyn, she's in Denmark. That's not even that far from you, right? She's a professional cyclist. She can help you with some of your events. You guys should be collaborating. Denmark and Holland, right next door. You know, same time zone. It's 10 a.m. in both areas. Boom. So I think that, yeah, that's the key. You've got to, it's the law of reciprocity, right? What you give out, you will get back. So you've got to support events, make it a non-negotiable, right? If you guys have an event, tell me, I will do my damn best to be there, and I will help you show everyone how incredible ISAGENIX is. Okay, I will back you 100%. My other tip is that when you get, like Britt says, someone comes in and goes, oh, but what about the sugar in the shakes? And you're like, I just hold up my before and after and I go, it can't be that bad. Cannot be that bad. But if you want more info, go to isagenixhealth.net, or here's an article. And when I first started having events, I wasn't afraid to say, if someone, hey, what sort of enzyme is in the shakes? To hell if I know, but I know where to find the answer. Okay, I don't know. I still don't know. Oh no, I do. It's lactobacillus something, but that's only because I got asked the question. So to hell if I know, but I know someone who will know the answer. Dr. Plant, help, you know? So don't be afraid to say, to hell if I know, but these are the results, okay? So at the event, does it have too much sugar? Result. You be the judge. I've been using it for 8 years. This is me a month after the baby. Looks pretty damn good to me. Can't be that bad, can it? Let's be real, right? So results are what, like, to me, that's everything, right? You cannot argue with the results. Go and argue. And another thing I say is, like, a shake's got the equivalent sugar of half a medium apple. So if you eat a whole apple, you're having double the sugar of a shake. So careful of those apples, you know? People don't realize how much sugar is in even just healthy foods. and it's healthy, natural sugar. It's not bad, right? Anyway, but yeah, so when people ask questions, you're like, oh shit, don't be afraid to say to hell of one, I got no idea. And I even said this, well, I kind of made one screw up I made millions of screw ups at Sarah's event. But one screw up I did make is I went into the science about one of the products, and I realized afterwards that was dumb, because that's not duplicatable, right? I can't. Sarah will be like, if she gets the same question, she'll be like, oh shit, there was this big crazy answer. So I'm still learning, but just refer people to where they can get the answer, and just always go back to the results. Has it got too much sugar? Well, I've used this for 8 years, and my bloods and everything perfect. So yeah. Okay, that was pretty much all my tips. Like, I still am afraid no one's going to turn up to my events, but I feel that fear and I do it anyway. I am afraid I'm going to screw up and say the wrong thing, but any action is good action, right? Any action is good action. Like, fully. And I love that, what Britt said, like, and what we used to do, if we had an event where only our team showed up, we would just turn it into a business training. And if we had an event where there was like one guest, we'd just rock it like it was a full house, like everyone was there to learn about it, So I think that just always have that positive, optimistic attitude, and you can't go wrong. I mean, and one thing I learned one thing I remember early on my journey, someone said, how do you expect someone else to get excited about ISAGENIX if you're not excited about it? And I was like, yeah, sick burn. Okay, I better get excited. And so it's about your passion for these products. So if you're ever lacking the passion, like literally on my way to Sarah's party, I was like, E-shot, double drop, boom, walrused it. And I was playing like this tune in my car, and I was like raving in my car on the way to get in the zone. I was like, Tony Robbins, I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. All right, let's go. You got to get in the right state to share something and become passionate. It sounds crazy, but it's so true. It's so true. Like, people can feel your energy and your excitement. And I was tired. I was exhausted. Absolutely. But I was like, nah, I need to show up for these people, because they deserve to know how incredible this is, and they deserve to see the excitement that this product can bring and what it's done. I'd be a douchebag if I dropped the ball and didn't bring mad energy to show them how freaking incredible this is, given what it's done for me. What an absolute douche if I didn't convey that. So yeah, those are all my tips. But I think that it's key to support each other's events. You've got to collaborate. You have to, because there's strength in numbers. You've got to back each other up. You've got to travel and support each other's events. That is the most crucial thing, because you will learn from each other. So I'm getting all sweaty. Like, so much of how I share ISAGENIX, I've learned from other people. I was like, that's a sick way of explaining it. That's way better than I do. And I learn from other people, and other people's stories is just so powerful. So yeah, that's the most important thing. You have to collaborate. If you're not collaborating right now, you're losing out, right? And ISAGENIX New Zealand is losing out. We all got to stick together and back each other up. And yeah, online events, leaders go first, right? And so we're all leaders in our business and our lives. Like, you've got to go first. You've got to step up. Right, I'm coming to your event. When's your next one? I'll host one. You guys all want to come, bring people. You've got to really step up. Okay, that's it. If that made any sort of sense. Yeah, but I think that that's the most important thing. And no matter what happens, any action is good action, right? The only action is lack of action, if that makes any sense. And of course, you guys know 100% focus is going into getting people to Sydney, like that. Oh, also event Wednesday night in Morrinsville. Okay, so anyone near Waikato area, Wednesday night in Morrinsville, 7 p.m. And at the end of the event, 9 p.m, we'll be watching the winners announcement. Woo! So yeah, send anyone along. Morrinsville, 7 o'clock. It's at Rebecca Fraser Jones's house. Yeah, and then the following Wednesday is at my house in Tairua, Coromandel. So I'll put the flyers in our chats. But yeah, every Wednesday night we are hitting it hard. And what those events are saying is get to Sydney. That's the whole point of the event. Yeah. Okay, back to you, Britt.
I think we're done. Sound good? So next week we'll have all the details about our collagen event, but the intention is that it'll be the following Tuesday evening. I will load the information into, like Anna does with her events, into the One New Zealand Facebook page. Is everybody in that page?
Or
Yeah,
put
like,
it in
what
our
is-
chat as well.
Yeah, I'll share the chat link into there. So, but the intention is that you turn up next Monday and the work starts then. Okay, so between now and then, all you need to know is that we're doing an event on Tuesday, the 30th of May, and you need to be available 8 to 8:30 to come and be part of that event. Cool? Well, you don't need to be. You might like to be. Okay, it's there if you want to utilize it. Awesome. Okay, so thank you, Gabby. Thank you, everyone. And awesome, Sarah, for doing your event. Germa, amazing that you're doing one while on holiday. Epic, epic, epic. Go
Oh,
to
and
New Zealand. Let's
remember-
fire this up.
Miriam is having an event in Rotorua on the 28th of May, well, I remember. So yeah.
Hey, Gabby,
Yep.
I found the best thing just for people nervous about inviting people. This is super random, but I was like, I don't even really care if you don't care about it. Can you just come so I don't look like no one's there? And they were the ones that loved it the most. So I just think YOLO, invite anyone. Like my friend bought her mum, and now she's
Event
like,
hack.
I'm coming to Sydney. And I'm like, what? So honestly, the people you least expect, like choose anyone. Like
So-
it blew my mind. So
So
that would
Sarah,
be my
you just asked people
biggest
to
comeback.
come. You just asked people to come and support you, right? So can you just come and support me? Yeah.
yeah.
How cool.
No one wants to look like they've got no friends.
And they were the ones that were like, this is mean. Remember, they were like, so
Yeah.
like this at the start, and then they're like, hang on, so which product should I be taking? You know, like they were all in. I was like, this, and they were the ones
Yeah.
I was like, why are you guys here? Oh, we're just here to support. I was like, oh, cool, man, awesome. And by the end, they were like, we're coming to Sydney, girl, we're gonna build this business. We're like, yeah.
So good. So good.
That's the power of getting in front of people.
Just
But-
yeah.
But Sarah,
Right.
that was a massive learning for me from you. If they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm just like, can you just come support me? That was awesome. I'm so
Yeah.
gonna get special.
I didn't see that coming. So I was a little bit like, oh, wait
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
So cool. So
good.
amazing.
Anyway, that's just my take from last week. And I think it doesn't matter that you shared the science behind stuff, because remembering from my years of skincare, no one cares because you can make it up and they don't know. Like you know more than them. So wing it
Oh, that's debatable.
for the win.
yeah. Yeah. No,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
It was really cool. So yeah. I mean, let's all help each other. And it helped so much that we had all of us there supporting each other. That's the key. You know, it's so good. And the people that are already in your ISAGENIX team, they're like the most important people to get there. Yeah, it's not just all about the guests. People that have already said yes, get them there. That can turn them from a product user to, let's go to Sydney, baby. You know, like that's the key. But yeah, Sarah, massive congratulations. That was an incredible event. So good. And Miriam, yours is coming up on the 28th.
Woohoo! Yeah, excited.
So anyone within a 2-hour radius of Rotorua, Vegas, let's go.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Cannot wait, girl. So yeah, any of you guys having events, let us know and we will all come and support. That's the key.
Sorry, have you got the recording? Where do we get the recording from these, Gab? Just for
From this
internal-
call?
Yeah.
Yep, I've recorded it. So I can put it on YouTube and put it in our chat.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, team, let's go. Let's get inviting to our events and put any events you've got in our chat. Let's hit it. Thank you, Britt. That was amazing. Really cool. I will never have an event where no one turns up.
I hope so, Gabby. I hope so. You've taught me a lot, so I hope I can
Hey,
teach just a little bit.
hey, if nothing else, Grandma better be here to support me anyway, right? That's good. Grandma, come and support me. All right. Bye, everyone. See you Monday.